So we've all heard the phrase that money doesn't buy happiness. And is it true? Maybe, but maybe not. I have some thoughts on that, and that's exactly what I want to talk about in today's video. In order to really do a deep dive on whether or not money can buy happiness, I think it's first of all important to define happiness. And happiness is such a multifaceted thing, and it looks a little bit different for everybody. There's different kinds of happiness, there's different levels of happiness. What makes me happy may not be what makes you happy, and what makes you happy today may not be what makes you happy tomorrow.
If I could say shitballs to the principal, I'd be so happy.
The way that I see it, happiness is a big, complicated puzzle, and there's hundreds of little pieces that all have to fit in the right spot in the right way to make the complete picture. One piece of that puzzle might be having a nice place to live. Another piece might be having food in your belly and running water. Another piece might be having an amazing family and a good social circle. I think the saying money can't buy happiness was originally intended to point out the fact that material goods don't bring enlightenment, and I think that's completely true. You can treat yourself to things that in the moment make you feel really good, whether it's something small like a nice cup of coffee, maybe it's something like a new pair of shoes or some clothing, maybe it's even a big purchase like a new car.
It's a hybrid.
In the moment you feel great about that purchase, but that's just dopamine, that's not happiness. Everything you own that is old, worn out, tattered, unimpressive, originally started out new and shiny and as something you wanted. And by and large, the item probably hasn't changed, only your perception of it has. Money also doesn't bring you good physical health or good mental health. Money doesn't bring you friends. Money doesn't bring you relationships or family or connection. And all of those things are deeply important to the overall idea of what a happy life looks like. But the more I started to think about it, the more I started to realize that maybe money could bring you those things, or at least give you the opportunity to pursue them. Let me explain. Money can buy you food, money can buy you shelter, money can buy you transportation, money can buy you a sense of security and safety that comes along with all three of those things. Money can buy you time, money can buy you autonomy, money can buy you opportunity. And that's the one that I really want to touch on here is opportunity. You may not be able to walk into a store and go, excuse me, I'd like to purchase one happiness, please. But money can absolutely buy you freedom from a lot of the things that make you unhappy. That might be a job that you hate, a crappy apartment that you feel stuck in because you can't afford to go elsewhere, a crappy relationship that you feel stuck in because you're financially tied to another person. Money can also help you buy your way out of stressful situations, like having an unreliable car. The truth is that having money gives you a certain level of opportunity and accessibility that you would never have without it. You may have heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Basically, it's a psychological theory that humans have 5 levels of needs in their life to allow them to live a fulfilled, happy life. Starting at the very bottom are the physiological needs, the things that we all physically need to survive, like air, food, water, shelter, sleep, things that we would literally die without. Once those very basic physical needs have been met, we move up to the next level, known as safety needs. These are things like having a personal sense of safety and security, having a job and an income, having resources at your disposal, and your health. Next in line comes love and belonging, having friends, intimacy, family, a sense of connection and community. After that, move on to esteem. That would be having a sense of respect for yourself and for others, having a good self-esteem, having some status and some recognition, feeling strong, feeling free, and finally is self-actualization. Self-actualization is the desire to be who you want to be the best form of yourself, to be the healthiest, the happiest, the most fulfilled in every possible way, and that's a level that I don't think a lot of people get to. But let's go back to the beginning here for a second. When it comes to the first level, the physiological needs, money can buy you all of those things. Money can buy you food and water and shelter and clothing and all of the things that you need to survive. Going up to the next level, our safety needs, once again, I would argue that money can give you all of these things. Money can give you a sense of security and safety based on where you live, if it's a safe neighborhood, based on knowing that you're going to be able to pay your bills, pay your rent, pay your mortgage, whatever, that you're not going to be kicked out of where you live. Money can also give you access to resources and amenities based on where you live. And even your health can be greatly impacted by whether or not you have money. There's obviously some people who are extremely rich and still die of terrible diseases for which there's no known cure, but the quality of life that they have in the meantime is greatly impacted by the amount of money they have. And on a more simplistic level, having money gives you accessibility to medical resources that you may not otherwise have. Having money means you can go see a therapist if you're having depression and anxiety and mental health issues. Having money means you can go to the dentist and get your teeth cleaned so they don't rot and fall out of your mouth. Having money means you can get a massage or go see a chiropractor if your back is hurting you. It also means that you can take some time off work to attend doctor's appointments if you have to. And if you live in America, not having any money means you don't have any health care at all, which is insane. And jumping back just for a moment to the mental health point, not only does having money give you access to things like therapy and medication that you may need to help manage your mental health, but it also helps to alleviate a lot of the things that deteriorate your mental health, like stress and uncertainty and misery from things that you can't control. And I think that's the big point here, is money brings control. When we get to the third tier of Maslow's pyramid, things definitely get a little bit dicey. I wouldn't say by any means that there's a direct connection between how much money somebody has and how many friends they have or what their family structure is like. There are certainly a lot of people who are very poor but have tremendous community, tremendous friends, amazing families. But there is a little bit more here than what meets the eye. Somebody who doesn't have any money might find themselves working so much just trying to make ends meet that they don't have the time or the ability to socialize or even the energy to do so if they had the time. Relationships of any kind require work and they require give and take, and if somebody's already giving all they can give just to stay alive and just to take care of themselves physically, there isn't often a lot to give into relationships or friendships of any sort. Having the time and the ability and the energy to socialize is a privilege in and of itself that a lot of people are not lucky enough to have. Having the disposable income to go out to meals with your friends, to buy Christmas gifts for your family, those are all privileges that not everybody has. And for anybody who's feeling isolated and wants to get out there and wants to socialize and meet new people, that in itself can be very expensive. It can be really expensive to pursue hobbies and join clubs and events where you're likely to even meet people to begin with. And again, that's even assuming that you have the time to do so. And when it comes to esteem and self-actualization, that's completely out of reach unless you've met those first 3 levels of needs, and all of those require some form of money. And so everything comes back to the word opportunity. Money gives you the opportunity to pursue the things that make you happiest in life and to abandon those that don't.
Woohoo! 4-day weekend!
Money gives you the autonomy to decide how you spend your time, who you spend it with, and what you spend it doing. What might be a small annoyance or inconvenience for somebody who has money can be an absolutely catastrophic nightmare for somebody who doesn't. Let's take a flat tire, for example. Somebody who has money gets a flat tire. What do? They call a tow truck, grab an Uber, and continue on their way like nothing really happened. A little annoying, a little inconvenient, but not that big of a deal. Somebody who's poor and gets a flat tire can't afford a tow truck, probably can't afford an Uber, might not be able to get their kids home from school, might not be able to get to work, might get fired because they didn't make it to work, and their whole life can come crumbling down from something that is otherwise just a little bit of an annoyance to somebody else. And that's just one example of possibly millions of similar situations. So the question we're asking here again is, does money buy happiness? And the answer is, well, I guess it depends on your definition of happiness. For me, my definition is freedom, autonomy, and control of my own life. The ability to do what I want, when I want, where I want, with whom I want, to not have to do the things that upset me, stress me out, or make me otherwise unhappy. And so in that sense, I think money definitely can buy happiness. It just doesn't come from them all. But I would love to know your thoughts. I would love to know whether or not you think that money can buy happiness, and more specifically, what is happiness to you? What does your definition of a happy life look like? If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit the like button. I really appreciate you guys watching and hanging out. If you haven't done so yet, please also consider subscribing to my channel. I make videos about minimalism, personal finance, investing, self-development, and all sorts of other cool topics like that, so definitely subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Other than that, thank you guys so much as always for watching, and I will see you next time.